Hey guys, so in today's video we're going to be removing this power head off this Mercury 200 EFI that's on my Ranger 518 VX. This is a project build that I'm doing, so stay tuned in the future for more videos on this. But today's video we're going to be removing this block off this power head. It's a super clean engine, all really good parts on it, and super clean motor. The unfortunate part about this motor is if you come over here on this side, you look under the starter, located just right under here, you'll see, and there it is. There's a big old hole right outside of the block. So unfortunately this power head is junk, and what I'm going to be doing is replacing it with a 150 carbureted power head, because I do have one laying around, and these have the same V6 midsections. So for the time being, I'm going to be running a 150 carbureted until I can find a 200 EFI block, because they're pretty hard to find for me. So let's get this power head off and get right into it. First thing we're going to do is remove all the side cover bolts so we can get to everything else pretty easily. Now there are only 4 bolts that hold the side cowlings onto the engine, located in here in the footage, and just all you're going to do is loosen all of them, and eventually they'll all come out, and then you'll be able to remove the side cowlings. Once the bolts are loose, we come on the starboard side of the engine and we can disconnect the trim switch. Now we're able to completely remove this side of the panel of the cowling. And as you can see on this side, this one has full metal shavings from where that hole blew out the side of the block. Now for this side, we can't quite disconnect it completely, so what I just did is gently lean it down for the time being until we completely remove everything else. To remove the shift and throttle cable, we gotta remove this little keeper, but with the Phillips head, so just loosen this up, and once you get the screw out, you'll be able to just push over the lever, and then that exposes the cables to be able to remove. Then you're just gonna have to disconnect each side of the cable. I believe they're 10mm nuts, so just loosen them up and you'll be able to pop off the throttle cable. And the next cable is going to be for the shift, so just push back on the throttle arm, and then you'll be able to get in here and just loosen it up. And once you get it completely removed, you're going to be able to just pull up on the throttle cable and pop it out. And for this, I wasn't able to quite get it out, so just pop off this little bolt connector on the fuel filter, and then that way you can get the cables out. And then of course just pop that bolt connector right back into the fuel filter. Next, we're going to disconnect the oil line, so just cut this zip tie, and you're going to use a bolt, just pop off the filter, and then you'll be able to just take the bolt, shove it right into the fuel line, and that way you won't be able to have any leaks of oil. Now we're going to remove the incoming fuel line. This is where the primer ball is hooked up. Now if you trace this fuel line, it comes into the incoming fuel pump, as you can see right here. So what we're going to do is just take some cutters, cut the zip line, and remove this fuel line. Now located on the other side of the engine, you'll see these 2 wires. One is green and one is blue. These are your trim wires, so green for grass, blue for sky. So green is for down, and then blue is for up on your trim. So you just want to disconnect these 2 wires. They're just booled connected. On the same side of this engine, we're going to remove is the incoming engine harness. So just pop off the clip located on right here, and all we're going to do is start disconnecting some bullets. Then once those are removed, we can obviously just start disconnect is the main engine harness. And I do want to make sure that you guys do have the batteries disconnected. What we have to do now is disconnect the incoming hot going to the solenoids. We're going to have to remove this nut, and then we're going to have to remove the negative ground going to the starter, and it is a bolt located just right here underneath this fuse. Next we'll remove is this hose, which measures the crankcase pressure if you have this up at your gauge. Once you've disconnected everything, including this fuel line, this main engine harness, the bolt connectors, and then battery cables. What you can then do is hop over to the other side of the engine, and you can fully remove it and remove the other side cowling completely now that everything is removed. Last we want to remove is this little hose that's located under here, so we're going to have to cut the zip tie. This is for the telltale, so cut the zip tie and remove this hose. Now, last thing to do is remove all these nuts located on the sides. This is what holds the power head in. The power head is held in with studs with nuts on the end. So there's a bunch of them located all over the power head, so just make sure you don't miss any of them, and then the power head will come off really smoothly once you get them all out removed. These nuts in the front won't come out all the way until you remove the power head. What we'll need next is a lifting hook or some sort of way to lift the power head. So you just thread this one right into the flywheel. And what we want to do is just gently lift up on the power head and just watch for anything. Make sure we disconnected everything so we don't break anything. So just gently lift it up and you'll just feel the power head pop up. Again, just move really slowly, make sure nothing's caught up, and the power head will just slip right out. And as you can see right in here, you just want to make sure nothing is hooked up. Make sure you disconnected everything, and just so you don't rip anything out. So here's a good look underneath the power head, and it's just a real shame because this was a rebuilt power head, so everything under here is super clean, and unfortunate that there is a hole outside the block. And I do know why there is a hole out of the block, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. But here's just a good look of underneath it, and so you can see all the different things, and the the exhaust and the other stuff like that. Here's what it looks like in the midsection. So you have your drive shaft coming up. This is what controls your shift. So this is what pivots. That pivots. That's what changes the gears in the lower unit. Different spots. You have your 2 ports for your exhaust. You have your water, where your water passages and stuff like that come through. So, and as you can see here, a bunch of metal shavings from where the block blew out, and something that's really cool that I found right here, which I picked up, is a piece of the bearing. It's for the end of the crank, and there was a whole bunch of them actually laying here. So I believe that whoever rebuilt it didn't rebuild it correctly, and the bearing blew out the side of the block, which is a real shame because this power head is super clean. All the electronics, everything on it is really good condition, but it is what it is. So that is going to wrap it up for this video, but just to give you guys a quick little overview of the boat, I did have a little YouTube short on it, but just a quick glimpse of some stuff I've been doing. So yeah, this is a 518 VX Comanche Ranger bass boat. You see I'm doing some of the wiring. I pulled the panel out, redoing all the switches and stuff like that. It's a really clean boat. It's going to be a good project boat. As you can see under here, everything is in pretty good shape. There is some minor stuff I got to do, but something that I'll show you guys more in the future, more videos that will be coming out. But just so you guys can get a quick little glimpse of it and what I've been up to. But if you guys have been enjoying the videos, please smash the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.